Welcome back to another episode of Chopping It Up Raw. I am your host, Abdul the Barber, and today we have a fellow YouTube person, Tiffany. I appreciate you coming on. So today, I brought you on today just to, talk about some general talk and your life in Japan and how'd you get here and the routes you've taken, since you've been here. Like I said, I appreciate you coming on and nice having you. We're kind of far. But yeah, just, want you to talk about your life a little bit.
So, hi, I'm Tiffany, and I am born, bred South African, colored from Posh. I'm allowed to say I'm colored.
Yeah, say what you want.
Yeah. So, a little about myself, background, where I come from. Grew up in South Africa, went to uni, studied sports science, majored in kinesiology and biokinetics. And then after university, I became a Zumba instructor and a dance instructor for Virgin Active.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Richard Branson.
I've heard of that name.
Yeah, he's
Richard Branson.
British. He has a brand in South Africa. It's very big. Got fed up with that job, looked for something else to do, and then I started a YouTube channel with all my Zumba events, was posted on there, all my dance videos, and one day someone reached out to me. It was like I thought it was a scam, honestly.
Everything's a scam nowadays,
Yeah, so it was someone from Bahrain. I've never heard of the country Bahrain. That's the sister to Dubai.
Right.
And they asked me to become an instructor in Bahrain. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And like, when do I start? And they're like, oh, you start next week.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, I don't even have a passport at that time.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I'll get my passport. Do I need a visa? What do I need? They're like, no, just get your passport. We'll figure it out. So when I got my passport, they booked my flight, let my family know I was moving to Bahrain. I got to Bahrain and I seen this guy come through the doors, like as I get off the plane, and they were calling my name, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? I thought I'd done something wrong. So they escort me off the plane, and some guy came to pick me up, took my bags and stuff, and walked me out. And he's like, we're just gonna like go through customs. I didn't even stamp my passport or anything. I just walked into the country. So I didn't know who I was working for. I had done zero research because they're very discreet and very personal as well. Because it's an Arabic country, so they're very sensitive with what they put out there. So we walked through the gates and went to my apartment.
I mean, it was kind of scary, right?
I thought I was getting abducted.
Yeah,
I was like,
kidnapped.
yes, at this point, bye, I'm done. I got to my apartment. It was very beautiful. And the next day I woke up, the same guy knocked on my door, let me know that they want to see me downstairs. I go downstairs, I meet my then like manager, and she was like, we need to talk to you in a conference room. So we went to a separate room, but in the same building where we live. And they let me know then who I was working for, and it ended up being the royal family.
Wow.
Yes, it was the royal family for Bahrain. So Sheikha Noor, she's the owner.
Right.
Her father is the king of Bahrain, and Sheikha Noor is her grandfather, and his granddaughter, Sheikha Noor was the one that owned the fitness center.
What?
So
that was a whole experience for you. Like, what's going on? Ain't telling me nothing.
Mind-blowing to me. I had no experience, and that's how my journey started with getting into the fitness world, the dance. I then started a genre called Afro Nation Fit Dance in Bahrain. It was something I started, but because in Bahrain, laws are very strict, very harsh, especially on foreigners. You can't transfer your brand, even though you created something. If you create it in their country, it now belongs to them. So till this day, they run Afro Nation Fit Dance as theirs.
Oh,
They just got a different instructor.
And that's with anything, no
That's
matter.
with anything, no matter what. They just have so much power.
What?
Fast forward, I fell in love, you know how it goes.
Right.
There's a ship.
Right,
First
right.
time seeing Americans.
Yeah,
and then
Bahrain
they have
has
this
the base
twang,
there.
the American twang accent. I decided then to part ways. This was like after 3.5 years. Decided to part ways with the company. There was no harm to why I left, or
Right.
I just left because I was following someone else.
Right.
And they didn't see it that way. They're very possessive.
Oh, wow.
So they were upset.
What? I mean, but you know, it's time to turn the page.
Yeah.
So you have your life, and you know,
Yes.
but I get it. They have their mindset on certain things, right? So,
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, they blocked me from the GCC. I wasn't allowed to enter the Gulf, like the whole the GCC, which is Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi.
Oh, you couldn't go.
No, I couldn't.
Is it still?
No, that was for 3 years, just
Oh,
so
it's
that
only
I
for 3
couldn't
years.
get back and get employed by another company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, they go above and beyond.
Yeah,
Wow, that's-
listen, they got a lot of power.
yeah, I can imagine. So they can reach out and touch you if they wanted to.
The same way they got me is the same way they can get rid of me.
Yeah, that's scary. Goodness gracious. So you turned the page, and you found yourself here in Japan, right? So I see on your YouTube and on your Instagram page that you do a lot of traveling, right?
Yeah.
So since you've been here in Japan, like how have you found, you know, your experiences going?
So traveling wise, I'm gonna start off with traveling. Traveling wise is very easy. For me personally, very affordable, safe. Because I don't know if you've seen, I travel by myself mostly. So as a female living in Japan, I think it's very safe and affordable to travel by yourself. And it's beautiful. I feel like every place you go to, or city you go to, is just a different taste, a different experience. And I just highly recommend traveling in Japan.
What do you like the most? Well, what area or location do you fancy the most here in Japan?
Kyoto.
Kyoto? It's
Yes,
quiet.
It's very calm, peaceful, slow pace. The air is different.
Yeah, it is.
The air is so different.
I went last year for my birthday, and when I got there, I didn't know what to really expect. I went there in Osaka, and Osaka is, I'd pick it over Tokyo. Sorry, Tokyo, but yeah, it's people there a bit more like down to earth, as I think you can say.
Yeah.
And when I went to Kyoto, I was like, yo, what is this place?
So calm.
It's very chill. I didn't have the slightest idea what I was walking into, but I enjoyed it.
Yes. I like Hakone too, because it reminds me more of my hometown, Potchefstroom, where I grew up. It's very similar, like very country-like, but also modern.
Right.
But the views are just breathtaking.
Yeah.
Mountains everywhere. I don't know if you've heard of Cape Town.
Cape Town, right? Yeah, I've heard of it. I have a friend actually visiting Africa right now. That was one of the places that he went to.
Love stuff.
Yeah, it's on my list. I gotta get down there, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hakone is pretty nice. I have a friend that's he has a ryokan there, and I got to stay there, and the view of just the mountains, and especially in the fall.
So beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, it's and the air is different.
The air too.
The air is different down there as well.
I feel like it's more congested here, so it becomes polluted.
Right. Yeah.
So the air is just heavier to inhale.
Right.
And I think that's why Japanese wear the mask. So before COVID happened,
they were doing it anyway.
They were doing it.
Yeah,
anyway.
they were doing it anyway.
Yeah.
But what I explain to people is, you know, when they wear the mask, it's not because they're sick. It's or no, let me rephrase this. It's because if they're sick, they don't want to get anybody else sick.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing that, you know, I think a lot of people don't understand.
Yes.
You know.
That's actually true. It touched me that they care about the next person.
Right.
Because where we come from,
nobody
if
cares.
I'm sick, I'm not gonna care. I want everyone else to be sick around me.
Yeah, but this country is, you know, everywhere has its, you know, pros and cons, but I think that's why I've been here for so long, because you can't really trade the safety
Yes.
for anything, you know. So.
Well, I haven't been here for that long. It's only been 2 years, going on my third. But what I can say is it changed my whole view or what I was thinking about Japan. I never knew where Japan was, what Japan was. If someone told me 10 years ago, oh, you'll be in Japan, I wouldn't believe them because it was never on the roster of, okay, I will be in Japan one day.
Yeah.
So when I got here, it was very, very different. The culture shock, the food. I couldn't do Japan. Like the first 6 months, I just wanted to leave Japan.
What?
I couldn't. It was very hard for me to adapt. And also I came here during COVID. So everything was
shut down.
Yeah, shut down and restricted. And they have a lot of rules and they stick to their rules.
Right.
So I believe that was also one of the factors that played a big role.
Are you glad you stayed now that it's over?
Yes, because my kids speak Japanese. So it's like, guys, you don't even speak one African language and now you're speaking Japanese.
Yeah, but they're kids, they soak up pretty easy, right?
Yes.
So
they think they were born here, so.
Oh, what?
Yeah, like Japan is our home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I've been here now 17 years.
17 years, yeah.
And I don't foresee myself
leaving.
Going nowhere else. Nah. But I do, like I mentioned earlier, I do want to get property in the U.S.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I think having some kind of asset. It's only going to appreciate later down the line. So yeah.
Well, that's me with Japan right now. I really wanted to get some investments going in Japan. I even thought of getting a studio and bringing my Afrobeats back. So hopefully that
it's
works
definitely
out
possible.
Because I know it will be a game changer in Yokosuka because no one does it in this area. And if they do, it's not someone that's, how can I say, that knows the history behind it or the truth behind it. So.
And I think that if I'm not mistaken, they do have like a few classes on bass, but if you were to bring it, nothing would be at that capacity.
No.
And I believe that, you know, it could definitely strive. And the only reason I say this is because I saw this in myself. And I still kind of don't believe it as long as this bass has been here. I've never ever seen another barbershop here that's catered to a certain demographic, right? So when I got to thinking, I was like, I could do something at the corner of the market, and it works, right? So it's a bunch of stuff that I think this place lacks, especially here in Yokosuka, right?
That's true.
So,
but also with the bass being here, our hands are so tied and chopped off because there's only so much they allow you to do. I, for one, I am the community center manager, so I contract these people to come on bass and give these classes or do what they love. So there's only so much that can be done and only so much that they would contract. So it's really hard to.
Yeah. Even with like food, I've noticed.
No, you can't.
You can't.
No.
They have, they're so strict on it. Now they have like underground things that they do, but.
I had a juice bar in the States, and when we moved here, I was like, oh, I can bring my juice bar with me. And we got here, and they're like, no, unfortunately. So I went through legal and trying to get it legalized, and I couldn't.
You just couldn't.
No.
Yeah, I remember Jeff was, he was explaining something that they were trying to do, I believe. Something along the lines with juice, but it was, he reached out to me, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm down, just, shoot me the details.
Oh, I think it's because you have the fridge. So I was thinking of storing or selling the juices out of your fridge.
Yeah, see, and man, it's small world.
It's all organic, and it's cold pressed.
I think that'd be a good idea. I think it'd be a great idea.
I was even thinking of doing the pop-ups. If you have an event.
Yeah, so that's one thing so I had last year I was doing this thing, it was called game night. So I'd have like a bunch of different, cards and pool and then, video game. And I have people come over and just, enjoy themselves. Brandon came, his wife came. And I was thinking like, wow, I can do events. And I also have a rooftop. and it's gated off. So I mean, I can put tables and lights and whatever and have an event. So why not? If I have it. So yeah. So definitely we can make something happen in the future. I think it'd definitely be good.
You said it on camera, so.
Yeah, I ain't no reneging, right? Yeah, but I'm gonna cut you off real quick. I need to pay some bills. So this is one of my products. Pro Shield. Pro Shield is your #1 shea glaze. I use this. I came up with this about 2 years ago, and I just noticed it was just my skin was always really dry, especially in the wintertime. Yeah.
The water.
Yeah, the water. It's the water with my hair, and I'm like, man, I'm losing it over here. So I came up with this product, and the base of it is the shea butter that I actually got from, I think I imported it from Nigeria, and I had a couple other different ingredients that I came up with, and I worked on this, and I finally came up with this. And when I tell you this stuff works wonders. I use it every day. It smells great. Oh man, take a look. But so Pro Shield, I only have it here for right now. Go ahead, yeah. I only have it here for right now, but I'm working to get it online, so I can drop ship it, send it out to whoever that needs it. But yeah, that stuff is
good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I think this is good also for Japan because the water dries out skin and hair out so
100%,
much.
yeah.
You actually get eczema because when I got here, got eczema.
Right. Yep. I had it before, and I get it a lot, like on my elbows and behind my knees, and
it's not small. It's like patches.
Right. So and it was each. I was like, yo, what is going on? And the just regular lotion wasn't cutting it. It'll be dry as soon as I leave the house, right? So yeah, I couldn't really deal with it. But yeah, it's good. I'll set a Santa can for you. Yeah, thank you. Definitely. So talk to me about your travel and where have you been in the world?
You act like I'm this big traveler.
It looked like it from what I see.
Just living life on the edge, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I personally love traveling because growing up I didn't travel much. So now that I'm older and wiser, I dedicate most of my free time and my free money to travel. So I've been to Jamaica. It's actually where I conceived the twins.
Oh, really?
Germany, Bahrain, Dubai, Kuwait, Saudi, Qatar, South Africa.
Oh, wow.
Thailand, Bali, Singapore. I'm trying to name everything.
Singapore is fun. Yeah, I had a good time there.
The UK.
UK, okay. The whole world, just about. We're having to be in at this point.
Paris.
Yeah.
But I'll be there soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're a world traveler.
Yes.
Wow,
that's a love language, guys. Travel. They should put that on the the 5 love languages.
Yeah, they put travel down there. Yeah. So before I came here to Japan, I had never been. I think I've never been outside of the U.S. Right, and I came here when I was about 17 years old.
So young.
And and when I got here, it was just something. I didn't even know how to process it, right? And I actually wanted to come here because I always thought, oh, Japan is living in the future. They got flying cars. I'm young. I don't know anything. They got flying cars. Everything is way better than it is. But when I got a chance to start traveling around Japan, around outside of the country, I got to seeing, how different people live, and and one thing I did notice, and this is kind of recent, I went to Thailand, and it's a poverty-stricken country, right? But they don't have that. Everybody's so happy. Everybody's so happy.
That's one thing I love about it. So I lived in the States, right? And no one was happy. And I was like, why are these people not happy? Everyone's angry, everyone's depressed. And then I took my kids back home because I birthed them in South Africa. So we were in the States for 1 year and I took them back home. I was like, I don't want them to be here because they then start feeding off of that energy. Like, you know, kids that don't cry, they just like sit and stare at a corner. They don't know how to play with toys. So I took them home and they would just be in the sun, in the sand, like kids be kids. Not be in front of the TV or iPads. So I feel like the less you have, the happier you are. And in most third world, second world countries, they have less and they are more happy. So if you have more, that's all you want is to get more and get more and get more. But if you have less, you really have genuine happiness.
I remember growing up, and you know, we didn't have much, you know, but I enjoyed going outside all the time. I couldn't wake up. I mean, if I was going to school, you know, it was like going outside, riding my bike, going and play with my friends. We had a park across the street, and I play out there all from sun up to sundown. And you know, nowadays kids are, you know, they on that.
I think it's the generation we're in. It's the iPads. Mommy give you the iPad.
So
screen. Get out my face. But in Japan, it's also very different. Parents like to take their kids out to parks, walk around. They're always in the sun.
One thing I can say though, here in Japan, it's they have a lot for kids, but I think Japan is a lot geared towards the older generation because I believe the younger generation, they don't get out and vote. So those people are still in office and they still do, you know. But I think it's changing. I've noticed seeing more stuff for like children now, you know, different like competitions and activities and stuff like that for children, which is good, you know, and I think they need, but yeah, I think overall this is a pretty good country, you know.
It is. I love it. Like I said, I was home like at 11-ish, got off the train with my kids, super dark. We
safe.
made it home safely, and funny, my kids are very high. Like they got energy for days. So they don't know when is, let's take a nap or time out, let's take a break. So they would just let loose of my hands and walk. Just go. And I would never have that fear of, oh, someone just took my kid or where's my kid? No, I know. Or like in, I think it was Disney, no, Universal, one of my kids ran off and she was like the only dark-skinned girl, so someone bought her. I was like, is this yours? So that's one of the things I like about Japan too. I feel like your kid will always come back to you.
Always. I mean, even with your belongings, you know. Man, I can't. When I was young, I used to lose my wallet all the time, and I always get it back. Nothing missing, nothing, no problem. And
that's so true. I like that too.
In the States, you can cancel that. You call your car company, hey, turn this off, because they might swipe your stuff. But well, it's, you know, I think just like anywhere else, it got its cons, but I don't want to get too much into that stuff, but
I really don't have a lot of cons.
No. Have you, since the 2 years you've been here, have you picked up on any other language?
No.
No.
No. I feel like I speak so many languages that I just am so fed up with learning a new language.
Okay. Well.
I know the basics. Hi.
Well, again, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
I was actually recommended, was it Brandon and Jeff? They was like, man, you got to talk to Tiffany, man. You got to get on the show. And,
I don't know why.
And I had it in the back of my mind. I was like, all right, I'm going to get on. And then we had like a brief hiatus. And I was like, oh, well, let me reach out to her and see if I can get her on the show. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
This has been a pleasure, and we definitely gonna work. We got some work to do.
We have a lot of work to do.
So, is there anybody you want to shout out before we go?
My subscribers on YouTube.
All right.
We almost at 2K.
Okay. So I think I subscribed to you. Maybe if I didn't, I will. But yeah, I checked out your YouTube and it was pretty dope. I like it.
Thank you.
We are still growing, so
Yes.
hopefully we can, like I said, get some other things documented, to grow our YouTubes together would be great.
That'd be great, yeah.
Yeah.
Should have a collaboration one day.
Yeah, episode, yeah. So
A travel collaboration.
yeah, I need to get out of Japan because I need a break.
I'll send you my itinerary for next month.
Bet. So that's been another episode of Chopping It Up Raw. I'm your host once again, Abdul the Barber, and always Foreign Cuss Forever.